In today's video, I'm going to show you how to send large video files over the internet. I'm Amanda Horvath, and I'm all about helping business owners and entrepreneurs leverage the power of video without breaking the bank or taking up tons of their time. So if you're looking to use video in your strategy this year, then be sure to subscribe and click the bell to be notified every time I release a new video. Video files are huge, and you've likely figured this out, which is why you are trying to figure out how to send these files over the internet. So if you are looking to send something that is under 2 gigs, then you can use WeTransfer.com. That is a very simple solution if you are just trying to send one video. Now, if you were trying to send more than that, then we're really going to dive into that today. Specifically, if you are trying to send video files to be edited in, say, the Philippines. What I'm about to share with you is what I have found to be the most efficient way to outsource my video editing. So this is not the only way to outsource your video editing, it's just what works for me. So I hope that it works for you as well. So the reason that I use this formula, which I will dive into shortly, is because when I was looking to send files across the internet, my internet speeds were not very good. And it's not because I didn't have the top tier package. In fact, I called up multiple different carriers in my area and asked for the highest upload rate, because actually when you're doing this, the upload rate is far more important than the download rate. So if you're trying to upload 4K footage on even 10 or 30 megabytes per second, it's going to take forever. And unfortunately, in my area, there weren't many options for fast upload rates, and so this is the formula that I decided to follow, or the framework that I created for my business. And what it is that you create something called proxies from your footage. So proxies are smaller versions of the original video file. So I shoot all of my videos in 4K, and so imagine like if 4K is this size, then you create proxies that are this size. And what that does is that on their end, on the outsourcer's end, because you're just going to send them the proxies, you won't send them the original files, they are going to attach those proxies to the project file that you have created, and they will be able to edit the videos from there. Then they are going to send you back the Premiere project file that they have edited that is complete on their end, send it back to you. You are going to open it up and reconnect the full resolution videos and just export your video. Okay, I know I threw a ton at you, but let me get on the computer and show you how this works, how to create proxies, how your editor on that side should be attaching the proxies, and then how when you get it back, you can look at what they did and reconnect everything. So let's dive on into the computer. So I'm currently editing this video that you're watching, and I wanted to give a quick shout out. If you are not on my mailing list, then I highly recommend joining, because I am working a lot on making outsourcing easier and easier for you guys. And so I want you to stay tuned for anything coming down the pipeline. I'm training a ton of editors and hoping to connect them with you. So be sure to join my newsletter. I will drop the link in the description below. It's just my website, amandahorvath.com. And yeah, continue watching. Since you are going to be reconnecting your footage after they send you back the Premiere project file, I highly recommend starting by creating the project file. So organize it however you want to organize it, and maybe even, create the sequences that you would like them to use. So with the settings or whatever. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, that's totally fine too. I'll show you how to create the proxies, which is all you really need to do. So in order to create the proxies, what you do is you navigate to wherever your footage is, just your video files, that's all you need. You are going to select them, and then you are going to right-click and say Create Proxies. Now, when you click this button, it's going to open up Media Encoder and start encoding the proxies. This is going to take up a lot of your computer I never know what the word is, but the power of your computer, and so I highly recommend doing this overnight instead of doing it while you need to still work. So start this overnight, it'll run through the night, create all the proxies, and then you'll take those proxies and actually upload them to a Google Drive. So I'll show you how this works on my end. So I always create a folder for each editor that I work with. So then within that, I add all of the proxies as well as the audio files and possibly any instructions that they might need specific to this project. And then I give them the Premiere project file as well. Now here comes the super important part that a lot of people, a lot of outsourcers mess up. So you want to make sure that they do this section. So when they open up the project file, all of their files are going to be offline. They will be tempted to reconnect the files to the proxies. They're not going to do that. They want to click offline all instead of reconnecting. And the reason this is because if they connect at that stage, then they are going to be telling Premiere Pro that the proxy file is actually the original file. So they want to click offline all, get into Premiere Pro. It's going to look like this. There's going to be offline footage. They are going to select all of the footage, all of the video files, right click on them, go to Proxy, Attach Proxies. Then they are going to navigate to wherever those proxies are. So let me find them. And then they are going to connect those proxies. So when they do attach as proxy, then what it's going to do is keep the original resolution of the 4K image, so all of the scale and everything will be related to a 4K video and not a 720p video. So just to show this, I've created a test sequence and made it a 1080p sequence. So if we were to drag these proxies into this sequence, then it should be scaled in because it's a 4K file in a 1080p sequence, even though the footage is actually 720p. So I know this is complicated. So let me show you what this looks like. When you just take this, drag it here, keep existing settings, you can see that it is zoomed in, and I can go in and zoom it out. So even though this is a 720p file, it acts like a 4K file, just looks a little bit more grainy. So they go ahead and they edit as they need to edit within this project file. They are going to save the project file potentially as a copy if they want. They could rename it the latest date or whatever and send it back your way. Now, when you open up the project file, it should automatically attach the full resolution video files, but if it doesn't, then all you have to do is go in here, select the full resolution files, and right click and go to Proxy, reconnect full resolution files, and attach the full resolution rather than the actual proxies. So that is how I use proxies to outsource my video editing. Hopefully it made somewhat of sense and wasn't terribly confusing. I know it can be quite complex, but when you get in there and you start doing it, it will make a whole lot more sense. So if this was helpful, go ahead and click like, drop a comment below letting me know. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.